you might have heard of Chuck Tennisgetter. He's the T in TVH, Breeding and Holgrimson is the other. He bought his home here in 1985 in Bear Valley. In 1989, he bought a condo. In 1990, he bought the Bear Valley Lodge and started acquiring properties in Bear Valley. He loved Bear Valley. His kids learned to ski. They were part of the race team. One thing he always wanted was, how do you marry this village with the ski area? Because there was a master plan put together over 30 years ago at this point that included a lift out of the village up into the ski area. But there was no, in his mind, he didn't see how this was going to take place. They're owned by two different people. Meeting of minds couldn't come together. It's an extremely capital-intensive business, both in the ski area as well as in the lodges. He put in a lift to go up to that area with millions of dollars. So he started talking to Dundee back in 2000, and for some capital to come in. They came and talked with the bottom league at that time, and probably many of you heard, I know we heard about it as homeowners in the area, that, oh, it looks like Bear Valley's for sale. And the sale started, and then it fell through. There were some issues that didn't allow that to happen, and I think Chuck at that time thought, oh no, gosh, we were so close. And then he went and found a third partner called Radar Partners. They're the two gentlemen that have been heavily involved in venture capital for many, many years, and one of the reasons why I'm here, I had the opportunity to have a relationship, a business relationship in a company I was with, and was informed of Bear Valley and that purchase. So the three partners now is the mountain resort expertise, and it's hard to see up there, but I'm sorry, there's TVH, Dundee, and Radar. And what these three folks bring together, a lot of people, when Bear Valley was first purchased in 2005, said, oh, Dundee bought the mountain, Dundee bought the mountain. Dundee is the one-third partner, just as TVH is, just as Radar Partners are. So it is truly a partnership of three different entities, but they all bring something to the area, whether it's real estate development, building great companies, or mountain resort expertise. The most important thing that I love about our owners is they're very committed, personally committed to this area. The two gentlemen with Radar Partners both own homes, one in Murphy's and one in Big Tree. Kids learn to ski here. One of them went to school at Stanford, and he used to come up here and race at Bear Valley many years ago when racing was going on. They come up here, they love it, and they know what they loved about Bear Valley way back when. That intimate atmosphere of great outdoor recreation. That's what they loved about the area. That's why they wanted to be part of it. Chuck Tennisgetter has that same vision. So it was a really good fit. And when he founded Dundee with Greg Finch, who is out of Colorado, he is our main, our lead person out of Dundee. Dundee is a big corporation in Toronto, $1 billion real estate company. Colorado division is Dundee USA. And Greg Finch is the president there, and really represents Dundee for Bear Valley. But they all think very similar about Bear Valley and what they want it to be. Greg talks about a story when he first drove up here, up Highway 4. And Greg's a big skier, and it was late at night. One of the things that he did mention, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but when you drive through any of these towns, everything was closed, it was dark. But you start heading up Highway 4, what really surprised him after he got through Arnold was how it was just the sky, the trees. He had no idea how many homes were hiding behind this highway. And he thought, wow, this is incredible. What a really special place this is, because we have managed to maintain that beauty of this area. And they all recognize that and all want to sustain that. So the company today is the main entity is Bear Valley Resorts. We hired a CEO to join the company 3 years ago. His name's Martin Wegenstein. Really great guy. He's owned a home in Bear Valley for probably 16 years now. Was a CIO at a company called Autodesk in the Bay Area for many years. Retired from there and started serving on multiple boards. And we had the opportunity to get him to be part of our company. And the purpose of that was, we had a ski area and we had the village, what was happening down in the village, but we weren't really tied together. We were getting to a point where we needed to start working more closely together. Shortly before he came on board, or right about the same time, the partnership bought the lodge from Chuck Tennisgetter. So now the partnership owns the ski area, the lodge, as well as some real estate down in that area. Bear Valley Mountain, which is the ski area we call Bear Valley Mountain now, is managed by Jim Getling, which probably some of you might know. Jim sits on the Chamber of Commerce for Calaveras County, as well as the Rotary and some other boards. Mark Phillips, who has been in this area for a long, long time, is the general manager for the village, the current lodge, and the village commercial center. So the partnership owns the real estate within there, and then we rent to entrepreneurs within the village, which is really great. We love that model because these people live in Bear Valley, they own their businesses. It's very different than some of the other ski towns where the company owns the shop and owns the restaurant and owns all these businesses. Our businesses are not managed by managers. They're managed by owners. So it's a really, really unique situation, and our ownership team really likes that, and they really go out of their way to continue to promote that. And how do we make these things work? Because they know people that own their own businesses care more than somebody we're just going to put in as a manager. So it's been really helpful for us to have those folks there because they're so involved. The Bear Valley Business Association, I sit on that group as well, and when I go to those meetings, I mean, it is like a regular board meeting. It is serious. It is, things get done. It's a really great group. And then finally, the supporting functions, which I'm part of, we support both the mountain as well as the commercial center. And then each company has a group of people that help operationally, depending on which group you're on. But we are definitely together now, the lodge and the commercial center. One HR, one marketing, one finance. The goals. When the new ownership team came on, they have some just basic things they want to get done. One thing is to ensure that when our customers showed up in 2006, well, 05-06 season, that they felt like something new is happening here. That was important for us. But, you know, they came in July. There's not a lot you can get done in 5 months. So how do we get people excited but not oversell this place? But that was an important thing, that we maintain that there's new owners here. There's something happening. Maintain that sense of intimacy, which I talked about a little bit. It is really important to our ownership group and our management team that Bear Valley stay just the way Bear Valley is, with some upgraded carpeting and, you know, some thicker walls and those kind of things, wireless access. But what we love about Bear Valley is just it's outdoor recreation. You don't come here for the casinos, and we're totally fine with that. You come here to come play outdoors and not to really spend a ton of time in your room. There's just so much beautiful things to do. Restore focus on guest services. This has been a big focus from our team. When he came in, he was responsible for customer service as part of one of his functions at Autodesk. And it's been a big change for Bear Valley. Not that Bear Valley staff, you know, everybody, there wasn't a lot of friendly people, but that it's a key focus. How you train people to be nice to people. And it's not really what it's about. It's how do you hire people that know how to be nice to people. And it's really changed our HR and how we go about bringing people into the resort. And every year it keeps getting better and better and better. And this year, it's been a really, really good season. I think we've benefited from the economy and what has happened. We brought in some really strong people that just help spread that message. And then, of course, maintain the natural splendor. It's beautiful. I mean, that's why we live here. And we don't want that to go away. Whoops. There we go. So in terms of who do we go after, where do we spend our marketing dollars? And I'm hoping it's probably very similar to many of you guys. We look at these 5 key markets, the corridor being Highway 4, Calaveras, Colby County, and over to Amador County. Central Valley, which is Stanislaus, San Joaquin, Modesto, Stockton. The Tri-Valley, as you head on to 580, Alameda, Contra Costa, Silicon Valley, Santa Clara, and then the coast, Santa Cruz and Monterey, which really surprised me as we started digging into some numbers in the Bear Valley, how big our market was out of Santa Cruz and Monterey. And in talking to these customers, this is another thing I love about this business is, I mean, they walk in the door and you can ask them questions, and it's really, really a nice, quick way to get some data. I'll spend a lot of time selling tickets, checking fees, putting people on buses just to learn more about who's coming up to Bear Valley. Our biggest market, at least where our pass holders come out, is the Santa Clara Bay Area, South Bay. About 36% of our pass holders come from that area. The next biggest one is the Alameda Contra Costa. For pass holders, our day visits, which we track by rentals, lessons, come out of the San Joaquin Central Valley area, which, Modesto, Stockton probably makes sense. The new village at Bear Valley. So just kind of want to cover a little bit about what's happening here. We are very focused on being a family-based community. Again, we're not about the casinos. We don't want people coming there feeling like this is nightlife, let's go out and rip up the town. This is about family fun, and in a safe environment is what we want to offer our guests. So what you see here up there at the top, just to orient you a little bit, let me come over here. All the red lines are the current lifts. This is the lift that will come out of the village. It'll be the longest lift coming out of there. These two fingers here are what bring you back into the town. And then here's the new village development here. And I'll talk a little bit about these red areas on another slide. This is just a blown out, but the chair is going to come right out of the village, which is really exciting. It's just going to create a real ski town, which people, obviously, we ski down to the village today, but having that entity and the supporting accommodation is going to be great. We'll also have some employee housing. Covered parking is going to be huge. If any of you have been to Bear Valley before in the winter, and if you go there on Christmas Eve or the day after Christmas, parking can be a challenge. It's not so much that there's not a lot of parking, it's that it's covered with snow. I mean, just everywhere. And snow removal is a huge issue because you can move it, but you got to move it to somewhere. So the covered parking will create that space for people because the snow is going to be on top, and it's not going to impact that. And of course, the main thing is that lift out of there. So just in terms of time frame, this is the plan, basically, as it stood 3 or 4 years ago. And what we were hoping to do as we began to build would be a phase 1, what was called Building 11, and in conjunction with that to build the lift housing. That would be the first project. And that first project is still going to take place that way. What we don't know today is it's going to be those same condos that we thought about 3 or 4 years ago. Given what's happening with the economy, we're kind of excited that we have the opportunity to really go from a clean slate and say, what is the right build that the economy has moved us to today? What does it look like? Is it, $1 million condos as it was 4 or 5 years ago? We don't believe that's the case. We believe there's a lot of diversity out there of people that want to come to the mountains, whether they want to come on a budget, they want to bring their dogs, or they want some high-end accommodations. So we're going to have that opportunity as we move through the county processes to look at what's the best build. We have these renderings today. We know we want to maintain that family community, but what those accommodations are going to look like may change. Phase 2 would be that second part of the building. And then phase 3 finally, and there's several phases to follow, and we're actually looking anywhere from 7 to 12 years to fully build this out. But that's the Village Center. So and what many of you have heard, and when this first happened, a lot of people went, oh, is the lodge is going down. Bear Valley Lodge is part of the plan to take that down, but there are many pieces of that. One thing we're very fortunate about is Chuck Hedesgetter and his company, very involved in restoration, those types of things. So they know there's many pieces of that lodge they want to maintain. If you've been up there, the beautiful fireplace, the whole cathedral lounge really epitomizes what we look at Bear Valley, where you come up there and the fireplace is going, you see kids playing Monopoly or Candyland on the ground, and everybody loves that at Bear Valley, including us. So we want to, how do we make some upgrades but maintain that, that feel? So that will definitely be part of this plan as it comes together. This is just some renderings that were done by a company for us. The gentleman who designed the Awani, as well as, well, we should say, this is very focused on being like an Awani type design. The main thing is going to be a pedestrian village where people can come, spend some time, walk through town. There will be a central area We really want a community to gather, and I mean that's just such ski town. You come in, you finish skiing, you're sitting outside by a fireplace, and we would like to see that continue. We talked about a club, where you could leave your skis, you check it in the morning, have some breakfast, your boots are dry and ready to go. Summer, it would be a year-round resort. If any of you have spent time up in Bear Valley in the summer or spring, it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. In fact, I mentioned my family and I, we bought our home to ski. And when we bought our home, it was October when we moved in. And so October, it wasn't very pretty. I mean, it's pretty, but we live in Blue Lake Springs, and they drain the lake. So here we are, and we got our lake, we're standing out there with our kids, and it's all muddy, and oh gosh, I can't wait for the snow to come. And finally the snow came, and we got to ski, which was a ton of fun. And then April came, and the snow was melting, and I thought, what are we going to do now? The snow's melting. What is there to do around here? We're going to empty that lake. But now, I love spring and summer, I have to say, much as I love to ski. These are those red spots that I was showing you earlier, and I just kind of want to give you a little insight on what those are. So these are other developments taking place in Bear Valley. When Silver Mountain started being developed, there was a lot of thoughts or questions. Oh, Bear Valley is building, it's happening. That is actually not part of our ownership team. And Silver Mountain is complete for all intents and purposes. The building is there, they're renting it, and they actually, I believe, now have deposits on every unit, so that's good news, whereas about 10 months ago that was not the case. When they first started taking deposits from them, it was probably 15, 16 months ago, and then those all fell off. They're all now gone. So it's really exciting to see that people are investing again in the area. Bear Paw Ridge and High Camp, as well as Creekside, again, all developments that don't belong to us, but other things happening in Bear Valley. I think all those guys just kind of stalled for a little while waiting to see what happens with the economy. But Silver Mountain is, it's actually very nice. Have seen that myself, and it's a beautiful area. This is just kind of a quick overview. This isn't detailed of all the processes, as I'm sure Dave and many of you guys involved in this. There are many, many other pieces that go through. But that green line kind of shows you where we are at today. We're still in our EIR process. We are hoping to get this finalized. I don't even want to say a date because I think I've been saying this for 5 years now. This summer, July, we have one more issue that we need to overcome. We've had many issues that we've had to overcome throughout this 3-4 year process. I think for us, the good news is, as Greg Finch would say, thank you, County, for dragging this out. We would hate to have a bunch of buildings standing there trying to sell. So in terms of that, we feel like we're in a good timing, good position with our bill. That wasn't part of the plan. There's been no delay from our side of moving this through. But going through the environmental process is very thorough. I learned a lot actually about the process, things that I did not know. That people actually will go sleep outside and listen for a certain bird or owl or whatever it might be. I mean, it is a pretty intense, detailed process that takes place, which is great, And so this is where we're at. And you can see 2007, where that green line used to be was about 2008. And we're moving through. We hope to get EIR done, and then we start going through our county applications. And if all goes well, groundbreaking in about 16 months, 2011. In the summer, our build cannot start until late July. We have a fawning season that takes place after the snow melt. So we have a very short period to build as well. We go from July till the snow falls. And so we know the first phase of the lift as well as the buildings are going to be a 2-year build. So I talked about customer service on the mountain and how it's been a big focus for us. This is our theme this year. Every year we have a big theme with the team. And this year it's Let's Be the Friendliest Mountain on the West. What's on the back of their t-shirt actually says the friendliest mountain on the West, in the West. And it's been great. And I remember when we started doing orientation for our new staff, and here's what you guys are going to wear. So be it. Be this. Because Bear Valley is not Squaw Valley. We're not Vail or anything like that. We're a great resort with lots of great skiing, but what we can offer our guests is a great time. And so what we really spend a lot of time with our staff on is the experience that you're offering the guests as they come up to the mountain. And we love when people walk away and say, gosh, everyone's so friendly here, this is great. That's what we want. I mean, the last thing you want to do is come up to a mountain that, you know, is perceived as, well, it's a small little mountain, it's Bear Valley, and it was okay, but we can't have that. We got to have people walking away going, that was a blast, that was fun, my kids had a good time, I can't wait to come back. And that's what really we strive for today. So the other thing that's going on in parallel with the new village development, which we run through our EIR, which is through county, is an EA. And the EA is through the Forest Service. So because we're on Forest Service land, everything we do, we work in partnership with the Forest Service, which they've been very supportive of, which has been great. This is kind of an eyesore, and I'll go through some of these in detail, but there's about 17 projects on the mountain that are taking place in conjunction with the development in the village, which is very cool. The village lift in particular, it's got to go from the village, cross county land, cross private land, cross several other places, and then end up on Forest Service land, so it's part of the EA. There's a mountaintop lodge. There's things we've got to deal with coming into the village, and all these things are taking place along with the studies and several other pieces, and I'll go into each one a little more detail. So this first one here is the East Bowl. This is very cool. This orange area up here. And back in the master plan that was developed 30 years ago, the East Bowl has always been part of that plan. This actually adds about 440 acres to Bear Valley, which is huge. It makes us bigger than Sugar Bowl, and then slightly smaller than Kirkwood, and it really takes Bear Valley to a new level, which is exciting for the entire area because we believe it's going to drive, hopefully, a lot more bodies up this way. The East Bowl skiing will include beginner, intermediate, advanced. We'll have all kinds of terrain. Of course, many of our locals and people that know better already ski that area down to the village. And I'll give you a perspective of exactly where that is. It also includes modified parking at Bear Valley, some modifications on some trails. The Day Lodge is part of this. It'll go up on the current Day Lodge where we are right here. Super Cub upgrade. Super Cub is our primary, not our primary, probably secondary beginner lift. We are a family mountain, and as a result, we do have a lot of beginners. Families coming up to learn to ski, which is great. We love that. If you come to Bear Valley on a holiday, the slowest or longest line are the 2 beginner lifts. So that's why it's one of our first upgrades we'd like to see happen along with the village lift to start moving those people through. And then some changes around Moke West. If anybody skied Bear Valley, familiar with Moke West? Okay, so one thing about Moke West, which we hear a lot, Moke West is the way down from the top of the mountain. And it's a blue run. People will come down and go, oh, that was the hardest blue run I've ever done. And so it is a little bit of a challenge if you're used to some blue runs that are groomed and nice and easy. Moke West starts out groomed in the beginning of the day, but everybody uses it to get down. So it gets to a point where there's a few little moguls here and there. And so that's one of the projects that'll make a nice, easy way for everybody to get down, give more access to people to the top of the mountain. So let me talk about that area. What I'm doing is, here's the big map again, and then the yellow is the area I'm going to talk about next. Okay, so that's the yellow area, and what this includes is the Bear Top Lodge. This will be a restaurant at the top of the mountain. Some modifications to Spring Gap, home run, lunch run, connection to Snowshoe Road. One of the other things about coming into Bear Valley when you ski into the village, it's been slightly improved already, but if you don't know where you're going might spend some time hiking rather than just skiing down. So those are all part of the improvements that will take place. The next area is up here by Bear Lake, and I'll show you what we're doing there. So up by Bear Lake, this is kind of upside down. The mountain is here, and you're coming in like this. And these are the ingress into the village. And we worked with BVRI, the Bear Valley residents, to get this approved, which allows access for our skiers, people wearing lift tickets, to get into the village. That'll take them down into the new development. There's some improvements along Schoolhouse Ridge. Again, these are part of trail improvements that will take place for the East Bowl. Many, many projects, and just kind of a testament of our new ownership team and how involved and committed they are to this area. 17 new projects on mountain, in addition to the village development, which is taking place with the real estate. So it's pretty exciting. This kind of gives you a quick overview of the area, just to orient you. So here's Highway 4. You guys are down here. You head up into the village right there. The mountain would be on your left. What you're looking at right there is the new East Bowl. On the other side is what currently is Bear Valley Mountain right now. This is home run and lunch run into the village. Of course, right now it's all covered with snow and will continue to be covered by snow for quite some time. But pretty exciting. I mean, what's happening in Bear Valley is a big change in terms of terrain and what it can do for the area in terms of how we can promote Bear Valley as a mountain. One thing we always talk about Bear Valley is a huge asset that we believe for Bear Valley as well as the entire county is that you can come up to Calaveras, Highway 4, and you can ski, and you can water ski, and you can play golf, and you can go wine tasting, you can go caving, and you can do that all in the same day. I mean, that's what's so amazing about this area. We spent a lot of time talking about that. As I was saying, when we first moved here, one of the things that I started learning is I started exploring. And it's a great message that really resonates with our demographic. In terms of Bear Valley, again, people always think of Bear Valley often as a small little tiny mountain. I just want to give you guys an example and see how we measured up against some of these other resorts. All the Northern Sierra resorts, your typical Tahoe resorts, we actually have a higher peak than many of them. Kirkwood, of course, is higher. If you've been to Bear Valley on a clear day, you can see a Kirkwood lift right across. It's 13 miles with the flow cries as the crow flies. Thank you. Which I didn't know. I had no idea. And so with that, Bear Valley actually gets a ton of snow. We have kind of a little thing that we rib each other about, or we used to, which a lot of ski areas seem to do. When you talk about how much snow did you get? And we chuckle about it a lot of times when I'll go, oh, Kirkwood, okay, if they said they got 28 inches, it means we really got about 18. And anybody here from Dodge Ridge, we joke about Dodge too, because we got 7 inches, and yet Dodge is way down here, and they got 18. Wow, how did they do that? It's kind of funny because when we talk to the newscasters, and I ask them about this, you guys realize that there's all kinds of stuff going on with snow depth, and they go, yeah, we know, but we just don't have the staff to look into it. Well, I just recently saw a report about 3 weeks ago about how the broadcast industry wanted to really dig in and see if these snow reports are accurate. I'm proud to say our snow reporting is done by our ski patrol, and they are very adamant about being specific to what we have or what we don't have. Even if it doesn't look good, it is accurate, and there are people that appreciate that. And that's one of our authentic outdoor recreation that we like to promote. So Bear Valley, as I talked about, we want to be this premier family resort, and so that's what we've been focused since 2005 on offering things for families to come up, make it a safe environment, make it a fun environment. It's about the outdoor recreation, what you can do with your family and friends. That's what we promote, and that's what we do, and everything that we build and how we market ourselves is about this. And I think it's really consistent with the assets along Highway 4. We have worked really hard. One of the first things we did when I joined the company is we actually hired a PR agency, which, there's not a lot of it here, but these guys have done a lot of great work for us since the beginning. We've been in all the major publications as well as some of the small ones, bringing a lot of attention to this area. Last year, we had a great segment on CBS, a show called Eye on the Bay, 30-minute show. These guys came out up here for 3 days, and that's just PR. That's not paying for that airtime. And it was fantastic. And then this year, Sunset Magazine was probably the biggest hit right now. It started off as a small little mention and went to a full page and a half article about Bear Valley. So there's a lot of interest going on with what people like. What we found, and I talked about how I get to talk to people as soon as they walk in the door. Last year in December, we had one of our biggest Decembers that we've had in history. And we're all, wow, I didn't expect this. The economy, the banks are going broke and closing. And when I got to talk to people and say, what brought you to Bear Valley? Have you been here before? No, I've never been to Bear Valley. We usually go to Utah for a week. We usually go to Colorado for a week. And so we really benefited from that change in the economy, and that people still want to ski, but they didn't have the funds to go do what they would normally do. And they look at Bear Valley as a good deal, you know, and it's close to home. That was the other thing. They came up just for a few days. And one thing we do, and Lisa knows, is whenever we have opportunities, and the way we promote Bear Valley is by everything that takes place in this corridor. So if the Sacramento Bee wants to do an article, I go, great, let's start down Saddle Creek, or let's go meet somewhere at the winery, because that makes Bear Valley look better. You know, ultimately we want to sell some real estate. So if people are going to buy homes, not everybody's buying just to go skiing. People are buying to go water skiing, to go wine tasting, and all these assets along this area just make that home a better deal. So Bear Valley, for those of you who don't know, I thought I'd throw in a few other activities that take place. We have Bear Valley Snowmobile, again, owned by two entrepreneurs. They own a home in Murphy's. Great couple that run Bear Valley Snowmobile. It's a ton of fun. They do rentals and sales. Bear Valley Cross Country and Snowshoe Center, owned by Paul and Diane. They do snowshoe rentals, cross country rentals. They run a lot of events out there. Paul is really well known in this industry. It's something I didn't know about our cross country center. It's the second largest in California. And he has a great reputation. Paul has been here, probably coming on 30 years. And he, like he says, he was a ski bum turned business owner, but still a ski bum. And I look at Paul and say, oh, where's Paul? Oh, he's off in the Caribbean area, he's off here. I go, how do I get Paul's job? Because Paul's just got a great life. He's got it all figured out. Biker, hiker, you know, does all kinds of things. But the cross country center is a ton of fun. Snowshoeing, they do moonlight snow tours. It's just, those guys know how to do it. Bear Valley has one of the biggest telemark ski schools actually in the western area. So we're really well known for that. There is a event that takes place every February called the Telemark Festival. We have people come from all over the world for this. So Aaron Johnson and his wife Kimmy have been putting this on for several years now, long before I got there. And every year I get calls from magazines saying, hey, I want to talk to you guys about your Telemark Festival. And I'm like, great, let me get Aaron on the phone. Again, Aaron's an entrepreneur in Bear Valley, not part of our company, but we've partnered very closely together because it just makes the rest of us look good. Every time somebody can say, can you do this in Bear Valley? Absolutely. You know, in fact, one of the things that we do at our main office, if somebody calls for sledding, you can't sled on our hill. They'll say, no, yeah, you can actually sled in the village. Let me transfer you. Our phone system allows us to hit transfer, dial 9, and dial the number down to the business that runs, whether it's snowmobile or sledding or whatever it might be. We want that guest to feel like Bear Valley's Bear Valley. I'm going to Bear Valley. They're all connected because that's how they think of us. So we make sure we work that way when we're up on the mountain as businesses. The Telemark School, we promote it on our website. We list it as part of our offering, just as if it's part of our business, but completely separately owned. Aaron and Kimmy also do avalanche courses. And in the summer, they're rock climbing, which is, again, just a ton of fun. That's Aaron there. And one thing I really noticed about a lot of these folks in Bear Valley, which is inspiring, but haven't quite caught up yet, they're really, really fit people that live there. They put their skis on their backpacks and the lifts closed, and they're hiking up that mountain, and I'm going, really? Did that run down? Yeah. So it's pretty neat group. Scenic byways, of course, you know, this is something we again use in our marketing because we want people to come to Bear Valley because it's beautiful, not because you can go to a casino and go skiing. And we take this and we talk about, again, the lakes and the wineries and everything else that we have to offer along the whole entire Highway 4. So this all began, our first big investment was the high-speed quad that went in. This is about a $4.5 million investment that went in 2006. A lot of the press that we got that I showed you earlier really came as a result of this investment of our owners. It's, like I said, an extremely capital-intensive business to put in $4.5 million into this resort that our general manager used to call it a used car for sale. It's a great resort, and it has this great intimate feel, but yes, we have these double chairs that need some love. And this Polar Express was the first thing that came in, replaced our hibernation chair. My family used to think of hibernation as I'm tired, I can ride the Hyber and get a good rest. It was a nice long ride back up to the top of the mountain. As long as it wasn't snowing and cold, it was fine. The Polar Express, the high-speed quad, gets you up there in a little less than half the time as hibernation did. But again, huge investment into a business by our owners. This is the latest thing we added to the mountain this year. Again, one of our used car tires, I guess you could call it, our buses. Several of them look like this. We did invest in some new buses, not too long ago, sorry Al. But what we did, we invested in our terrain parks about 2 years ago. And one of the things Jim Getling said when he got there, what he wanted to do is, let's focus on skiing, and let's make the skiing really, really good. And forget the sledding. We were doing sledding at the time. But I don't forget the sledding. Let's just focus on our core product and make that better than any other ski resort. So, they came in and got the snow caps and invested in that type of equipment. So terrain parks kind of fell off the map. And Bear Valley, what I didn't know, was actually one of the innovators in terrain parks. They were one of the first resorts to have rails in a park. But we didn't have the equipment to support that terrain park, so in 2007, we actually got rid of our half pipe, which was kind of a little black mark on us. People got all kinds of emails. They can't believe you're not managing the half pipe. So a couple of years ago, we finally spent the money to say, now we're going to invest in the terrain park. What I love about Jim is he doesn't want to do anything halfway. If we're going to do it, then let's do it well. So the terrain park, we invested about $100,000 in a specific cap for the park, hired a manager who hired a team, and now our park this year in particular has really taken off. And it's something that people actually come to the resort for. This bus, when it's fully covered, looks something like this. And that's me. No, kidding. No, but that's what these kids come up and do. They, this is current photography that you'll see a lot in our industry, and they're moved all the way throughout. But this is a feature people are coming up. We went and started promoting the resort in the fall, and we said we were putting a big old bus in the snow. It was pretty exciting. And people come up, yeah, I came to ride the bus. So it's been fun. Right now, what's coming up, March Madness, we have $12 Tuesdays in March, something we started last year. And we started promoting that probably 10 days out. It was something we just kind of threw together. Economy's bad. How do we get people here? Was kind of our answer to Squaw Valley's Furlough Friday. And the other thing we realized, and I'm sure many of you guys do too, is how do we get midweek business here? Our weekends, our lodge is almost fully booked every weekend in the winter. But midweek, it is very quiet. So we wanted to see would price really drive bodies here. We know the people in the valley, in Silicon Valley, can't take off work like they used to. They're worried about their jobs. So we weren't sure that price would drive it. What we did find is the first 2 Tuesdays were okay. The third Tuesday was crazy. It was fantastic. The word got out. It was one thing our CEO says. He says, I've never seen so many one-piece fluorescent suits in many, many years. So brought out a lot of the people that used to ski probably for $12 or $18. But that starts March 2nd. It'll be every Tuesday in March, and we'll see how it goes this year. We're running a radio campaign right now promoting that.